And the Reaper in play. Very nice. Very nice. We have enough mana to double down, though. Here's 2 damage. Here goes the Reaper. And now here goes the Mire Trident. Aloha! Welcome back. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch Hello Game again. Whether this is your first video, which, I mean, you're in for a surprise, or you've been part of the Wolf Gang for a while, I appreciate every individual second that you choose to spend here with your boy, HGG, playing Magic the Gathering Arena. Today, something unique. Jund midrange. We don't really see it a lot because there's no Triome to support it. However, we now have access to all of the pathways in Call Time, which should make it a little friendlier. And we also just seen the F2K 5K tournament invitational, in which it was absolutely dominated by aggro decks. So I thought, hey, you know what, HGG? You should make a bit of a control mid-range deck to take advantage of all of those aggro decks. Well, I wish that was the case today, because I don't think we might have found one. But, you know, it was anything but what we were looking for, which is pretty cool. So it's always nice to build a deck that you know will dominate one archetype and then get tested against the others, so you can really identify some weak spots and help fill the holes to make it, you know, more competitive across the board as a whole. Of course, we'll break down the deck list entirety. All the individual cards, what do they do? Why were they chosen to be included in the deck over maybe some possible other picks that we see? You know, pros and cons, strictly better than shenanigans like this. We have the deck's strategies and synergies, so you'll learn how all of those individual cards work together to form a really well-oiled machine or coherent archetype slash deck. And then we do have our gameplay footage, analyzing all of the playlines and interactions, talking about some common misplays that may come out, and good things like this, right? We do have our wrap-up thoughts as well, in which we will discuss any deck changes that we want to make for you guys, and, you know, future content plans, etc., etc., etc. So, of course, why haven't you liked the video yet? It's right there. Just bloop, take 1 second. By the time you do it, I'll be done. Bloop, bloop. Like. All right, now that we're done with that, let's get into the video. All right, Jund mid-range is just that, and this is really more a control-oriented mid-range deck. It doesn't have very many creatures, but there are a few in here to get the job done. We have an average converted mana cost of 3.09 creatures, 29 creatures with 22 lands, a few MDFCs as well to help us out, bringing us to a total of 26. Let's break down the deck, and then we'll get into the strategies and synergies. 2 copies of Bloodchief's Thirst, sorcery speed 4/1, destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana cost 2 or less. And of course, we can kick it for an additional 3 mana, a total of 4, to destroy a creature or planeswalker regardless of its converted mana cost, which is really nice. So it's able to be used early game, it's able to be used late game, destroying creatures, destroying planeswalkers. That's exactly what we're looking for in this version of the deck. Moving now into our 2-drops. We talked about our MDFC lands, and the first one is the Shatterskull Hammer Pass. Of course, it comes in tapped unless we pay 3 life, adding a red to our pool. At sorcery speed, within the Smashing for 2 mana plus X, dealing X damage divided as we choose among up to 2 target creatures and or planeswalkers. If X is 6 or more, that damage will be doubled instead, which is really quite impressive. Again, more creature removal, more planeswalker removal. Moving on, we have 4 copies of the Maze Mind Tome, in which is 2 mana. An artifact we can tap to scry 1, adding a page counter to it. We can also pay 2, tap it to draw a card, as well as adding another page counter to it. Once there have been 4 page counters accumulated, you'll sacrifice it, gain 4 life, which is really nice. So this just helps us, you know, cycle through our deck, finding the right answers, whether it's a land, a removal spell, or maybe a threat to start closing out the game. 2 copies of Wilt at instant speed, destroy target artifact or enchantment, cycling for 2. We have Saga galore in standard right now. Enchantments are everywhere, and we have lots of artifacts as well. Of course, if it's dead in the matchup and you don't need it, cycle it away, no harm there. 2 copies of Valki, God of Lies, and TIbalt, the Cosmic Imposter on the opposing side. The Imposter is one of our win conditions. We drop this as late into the game as we possibly can, so we know our opponent doesn't have answers for it. 5 Loyalty when TIbalt enters play. When it does enter the battlefield, we get an emblem with you may cast cards exiled with TIbalt as long as those cards remain in exile, and we can spend our mana as though it were any color as well. +2, exile the top card of each player's library, which is really nice. -3, exile target artifact or creature. And -8, exile all cards from all graveyards and add 3 red mana. Of course, that 3 mana can cast exiled spells no matter what color they are, which is really, really cool. Of course, we do have the early game drop within Valki, God of Lies as well for 2 mana, a legendary creature god, 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, an opponent reveals their hand. For each opponent, exile a creature card that was revealed this way until Valki leaves the battlefield. This is really nice because A, you're getting a creature out of their hand. That's great. B, even if you don't, you still get foresight of what the following turns will entail. And now you can kind of engineer your next turns around what your opponent has in their hand. That is a massive advantage. And of course, you can pay X to choose a creature card exiled with Valki with converted mana cost of X, and Valki will become a copy of that card. So we can take a creature, make Valki become a copy of that creature, and we got sight on their hand, which is really, really cool. Moving on, we do have 2 copies of Heartless Act at instant speed. Choose 1, destroy target creature with no counters on it, or remove 3 counters from target creature. 2 copies of Eliminate instant speed for 2 as well. Destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana cost 3 or less. Into our 3 drops now. 2 copies of Elspeth's Nightmare and Enchantment Saga. When it enters play, destroy target creature an opponent controls with 2 power or less. Groovy. Next up, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a creature, non-creature, non-land card from it. That player discards that card. So it's really nice because we can take creatures with Valki, we can take everything else with Elspeth's Nightmare, and both of them will give us foresight as to what the following turns will entail. And of course, finally, exile target opponent's graveyard, giving you control through or over top of recursion decks, any escape, Elspeth death bringing stuff back, and any from the graveyard to the field, or even if they're utilizing their graveyard for other forms of goodies as well, like Titan's Nest comes to mind, where they'll use cards exiled from their graveyard as mana. Let's just take that all away from them as an option. 2 copies of Soul Shatter, instant speed. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker with the highest converted mana cost among creatures or planeswalkers they control. This is really nice. It doesn't target things. Goldspan Dragon is one of them. Terror of the Peaks is one of them that you don't want to target. You can also take out Ugin. Dream Trawler you can't target. It takes out that as well. So Soul Shatter is just really, really nice. 2 copies of Bonecrusher Giant, a 4/3, and when it becomes the target of a spell, it will deal 2 damage to that spell's controller. Stomp at instant speed as the adventure for 2 mana. Damage can't be prevented this turn. Stomp deals 2 damage to any target. 2 copies of Crush the Weak at sorcery speed for 3. Crush the Weak deals 2 damage to each creature. If a creature dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead, which I absolutely love. And we can foretell it for 1 mana, which is even better. A single copy of Klothys, God of Destiny, a 4/5 with Indestructible. As long as your devotion to red and green is less than 7, it will not be a creature. And don't worry, it will never get to be in this deck. But it will remain a legendary enchantment with Indestructible. And at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a land, add Gruul mana. Otherwise, you gain 2 life and deal 2 damage to an opponent, which is really nice. This is consistent chip damage. This is consistent life gain. And if you're exiling lands from their graveyard or your graveyard, you can actually ramp a little bit with it as well. So the God of Destiny does everything that we need it to. Into our 4 drops now, a single copy of Polukranos Unchained. It enters the battlefield with 6 +1/+1 counters. If it escapes, it will enter with 12 counters. If damage will be dealt to Polukranos while it has counters on it, prevent it and remove that many counters. Of course, we can also pay 3 to have it fight another target creature, and we can replay it from our graveyard through the escape of 6 mana and exiling 6 cards from our grave. 4 copies of Binding of the Old Gods, another broken saga within Kaldheim. When it enters, destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Next up, search your library for a forest card, put it into the battlefield tapped, and shuffle your library. And finally, creatures you control gain Death Touch until the end of turn, which is irrelevant. But the removal and ramp is absolutely perfect. 2 copy of Hagra Mauling and the Broad Pit in tapped, adding a black to our pool at instant speed for 4, costing 1 less to cast if our opponent controls no basic lands, destroy target creature. 2 copies of Extinction Event, sorcery speed, choose odd or even, then exile each creature with the chosen converted mana cost. A single copy of Terragrid, God of Fright. This is our first 5-drop, a 4/5 with Menace. And whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-land permanent or discards a permanent card, you may put that card from a graveyard into the battlefield under your control, which is really nice. Of course, we do have the Lantern, which is why it's included primarily, that we can tap. Opponent will lose 3 life, discard a card, or sacrifice a permanent they control, and we can pay 4 to untap the Lantern, which is awesome. 2 copies of the Ox of Agonis, a 4/2, and when it enters play, discard your hand, then draw 3 cards. We can replay it from the grave, much like Polukranos, with the Escape, 2 mana, and 8 cards from our graveyard to be exiled. The Ox will enter with an additional +1/+1 counter on it, triggering the ETB effect, of course, as well. A single copy of Garruk, Cursed Huntsman, 5 loyalty, 0 ability to create 2/2 black and green wolves. When they die, add a loyalty to each Garruk. -3, destroy target creature and draw a card. And -6, you get an emblem with creatures you control, get +3/+3, and have trample. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We've got all our pathways and some basic lands. No sideboard today. That's the deck list. Strategies and synergies make the game last. You know, you might not want to go as long as you would with a typical control deck, seeing as it is a mid-range build, but, you know, you definitely want to get past turn 4. You want to get, you know, probably those wins between turn 6 and turn 8, you know, clearing the field, your opponent's out of cards in their hand, and now you start to really apply the pressure with your creatures, like Polukranos, like the Ox, getting Garruk in play for the Wolves, and, you know, of course, you'll have the Bonecrusher Giants as well. At this point, you know, you just control for a little bit more, and you'll have 7 mana. Valki comes in play, and that should win you the game as well. So, you know, really it's about survival, removing everything that your opponent plays that you determine to be a threat. Of course, you do want to make sure to prioritize your removal, so you're hitting specific things. Of course, only Bloodchief's Thirst and our Soul Shatter can hit Planeswalkers alongside our Smashing. So, I guess the Binding of the Old Gods can as well. But many things like the Mauling, like the Events, like the Nightmare, the Eliminate, the Heartless Act, can only hit creatures. So we need to prioritize our removal, whether it be on artifacts, enchantments, creatures, or planeswalkers. Make sure that you're getting the most out of your spells, trying to take 2-for-1s with things like the Extinction Event, like Shatterskull Smashing, which is really quite handy for us. And, you know, using Graveyard Recursion, like the Unchained, like the Agonis, to push into the later game as well if we do run out of value. And of course, we've got the Tome to draw for us, which is quite nice. We can also use the Ox to draw as well. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I wish there was more to it. It's a fairly simple deck to play. Just try to nuke everything that your opponent plays and see if it works out for you, right? Good enough. Of course, download Magic the Gathering Arena Assistant to help increase your skill level through not only your deck analysis as you're playing, but you've got the Deck Advisor. So if you don't have the wildcards for this one, check out what you do have the wildcards for within the Deck Advisor. Pretty cool. And of course, it does many more things. You can check that out. And everything else in my Linktree link in the description below. We do have Magic the Gathering Arena game codes available for you as well within my Linktree. Free cash prize monthly tournaments on MTG Melee. We have a free entry 500,000 gem giveaway, 100 one-on-one sessions with myself. So it's not just, you know, things available for you to purchase and help reward me, but, you know, we're giving a lot back to the community as well. So check all that out. Thank you guys so much for your time and attention. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the channel to a friend, support financially our Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, our Amazon link, and our Grave Vikings affiliate link as well. Thank you so much, you guys. Take care. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure to like the video if you haven't already done it. The earlier you like it, the better my video does. And I'm convinced it must be about 50 cents per video like. So get in on it. And John to Midrange is a lot of fun. And I know you're going to enjoy. Take care, and we'll see you soon with our wrap-up thoughts. Going first is never bad. The removal isn't necessarily a bad sign either. But, you know what's better than 3 land? 4 land! Especially when we don't draw any more off the top. Play our Go Gary. Right, reveal that information. They don't really know what we are. Okay. It's not a threat. Let's leave it there. I'm not going to go 1 for 1. I guess we could go 1 for 1 and just lay into our Ox eventually. I guess, right? Ox kind of changes that. Typically, we'd maybe just take the damage, but... why not just lay it in there and draw more cards? The Lantern. Okay. That is interesting. That puts us in a bad situation. We have Wilt. Maybe we just go for it and try to pull Wilt? We have a lot of lands we could discard for our Ox later on. I guess we could take, you know, that into account. And we could go down in life too. See what's going on in this hand here. I must know the future. Doesn't look good. Lots of removal. This is all fine. Tossing a card here. Whatever. I can land out. Get in their hand. Ooh. Nice. Okay. So we're not in a very good matchup here. Take the Lantern. You know, it gives us a fighting chance again. We lost a lot of value to it, though. Right? It put in work. Honestly. They're just going to bring it right back out. They're going to bring Tier Grid back into play. But then we can make them sack it. I mean, we know they have the Doomscar over in Fortel. They're going to bring back the God of Fright. And then they're going to Murderous Rider the Giant. No, it's a Garruk. Nice. Oh, God. That changes things a lot for us.
We are the apex predators.
Oh, God. That tier grid on our own Omen sack is a good game. Rest in peace. That's too much value. The God of Fright is good. I really, really like that card. 3 lands great, but, you know, we only have 2 of the colors, and they're not operational within the hand at all. So we have to toss it. We'll keep this. This is a hard toss, but again, we don't have the lands. There's no red source to play it. But that means there's also no red source for the Giant, and the God represents more value long term than the Giant does. So now we're just still begging for a red source, but you know, there it is. There it is, right off the top. Magic's easy. Just think of what you need to draw and take your draw step. That's how I thrive. I don't know how you guys play the game, right? They're playing Bants. Shapeshifters. Okay. Let's just take this out. Changelings are decent. I've been trying to work on it more myself, but that's just it. They kind of fold to removal in a very saddening way. God of Destiny in play, which is really going to help us win the match if we have no exile on our opponent's behalf. If there is, we could get in trouble. The Realm Walker is something that I've been wanting to put in a lot of my decks recently. Drawing from the top of your deck. And what did they pick? Warriors. Okay. Let's get rid of their Grave, so there's no recursion. This warrants an immediate removal spell, even though it's instant on sorcery speed, because it allows them to play from the top, so we can't let that go through. Polukranos in play, and, you know, just ramping into Valki, right? We need 3 more land. They sack a passage, which lets us ramp. We're not going to use it until we can get it. You know, if we draw 5, we can ramp to 6. That's still not enough. We'll have to wait 1 more turn. Let's see what they do. Vivian, okay. You know, that's a good card. It is not bad, that's for sure.
I love making new friends.
That stops any of these 3/3s from attacking. And then the God of Destiny is just dealing 1 damage every turn. Or 2, sorry. There's lots of cards they could get to save them. But at the end of the day, if we just build into Valki, it should be okay. We could play the Ox whenever we want. Even though we only have 4 mana in play, we have access to 5 because there's 2 Fabled Passages in the grave for them.
I call, and Ikoria answers.
Let's see what they figure out here. I'm worried about exile. And oh, it's got vigilance. I don't really care about our life. So we're ramping here. We could have taken from our graveyard, but I think it's not bad to take from theirs. We should have added a green source, not a red source. Couple little misplays there. It's an awkward spot for us. The thing is, like, we want to send Polukranos to the grave, right? Because then we can Extinction Event and not lose him because he's in the grave.
I hope things get out of hand for you.
Ooh.
Every bard joins a chorus of roars.
Now that's interesting. Orvar of the All Form with Vivian into a Realm Walker as a warrior. And if they target it, they get to make a copy of it. Even and odds. Right, we're not targeting it. Let's take Orvarv. Even though the Realm Walker is like God mode. And then we can start targeting again without making copies. It's quite the match we've got ourselves into here. This Vivian's providing a ton of value for them. We should have kept Bloodchief's Thirst for it. Nice.
My herd grows
Back
ever
to
larger.
back. Wow. They take another Realm Walker. That's awkward. If we Valky, we're just gonna lose it. Like, we're stuck in a weird spot here. We have to just try and take it. They could have counter magic here. And then we can look for more removal. Yikes. Doesn't feel good. What warriors would they have on the top of their library that they want to play?
New friends.
Do they have Alrund's Epiphany? I think this is just that Doomscar, isn't it? There's no way it's Alrund. We're so screwed. Just trying to find removal. Let's get a body in play. We need something. Let's pass our turn. I mean, the Smashing can take out a Vivian and something else, maybe. Do they have Flash? What is happening? It could be a Raven. No, that's sorcery too. Just a bounce effect, maybe? Really?
Things are about to get out of
So they
hand.
kill their own Vivian. They must have another in hand. There's no way it's another Orvarv. Could you imagine dropping 3 in a row? Squad commander.
Lots of them.
Huh. So that is good. Right? Because that'll be the third... Well, no, this is a warrior already. Or no, it's a changeling. So yeah, they'll have 3 party members here. They get 3 1/1s. Plus they pull another, which will be their 4th. So that's a full party. Right? So we need mass removal. We go from killing Vivian to killing the commander. Commander's on the stack. Here come the tokens. Oh my lord and lantern. Wow. And they all re-trigger again. So I know what deck we're making. I'm so happy to have run into this. Oh my god. Woo! That is a good time. Good game, bro. Now that was a fun match of Magic. Alright, we go first. Surely our luck will be better than the last match. Yorion, great. I thought everybody would be playing, you know, just those creature filth decks today, but they're not. They forgot to watch the tournament. I don't really want to give up the green source. And we don't need to stomp yet, so let's just, like, prolong everything. Check out this hand, see what's going on there. Right, even if we don't get anything, it's still worth getting into it. Really? This is like Abzan Recursion. Mid-range creatures and removal and bringing things back from the grave. Our turn right away. They have a Doomscar, but it's like, are they gonna get there before we lay in a bit of a beatdown? You know what I mean? So let's try to pull their resources out. I think they're still playing slow this turn with a Triome, right? Unless they've got a land over here. And then Bloodchief's Thirst. No, they go straight for Binding. They're looking for more land for next turn. Right? They do get it. We get not the land we needed. Oh my god, this should have been a forest. That hurts. This is a 3-drop. 1, 2, 3. With that flying, a little bit of extra toughness. It also dodges now the Bloodchief's Thirst, so they have to kick that if they want to use it. But we're actually not in risk of a Doomscar yet because they don't have any white sources in play. So that's really nice. Okay, much better. But the thing is, they're not playing anything else. And I think they really rely on that. Right? Because if they can continue to brick, we're going to be having lethal next turn. And that would have grabbed a land into their hand. They do get the Reaper. Okay. Elspeth's Nightmare. We hit for 4, and then they can't target us. Land in play. End our turn. That is one of the things. If you rely on your mana coming from, you know, mana dorks that produce some creatures, or, you know, milling and pulling it back with an enchantment or something, a sorcery. These are things we need to think about, of course. Even just a cultivate can be countered, right? Oh, they do get it. Docks it up. Oh, that's not bad. And now we're building the grave. Oh, never mind, we're not. We are not. We lose our grave to the Nightmare. That's heartbreaking. They are going to kick Bloodchief's Thirst on us. We're still okay, though. Right? Yeah, that's lethal right there. And we have Polukranos. Good game. It's a little bit of reach that we needed. There's no way they deal with both of those with only 6 possible mana. We should be good. I don't know what they could pull off the top. This isn't a list that I play against all the time. Oh, One Punch God. We play each other often. And the Reaper in play. Very nice. Very nice. We have enough mana to double down, though. Here's 2 damage. Here goes the Reaper. And now here goes the Mire Trident. Good game. The Wilt could come in handy here, but I think this is just Izzet tempo. And that's going to be a really hard matchup for us. Yeah. Especially without that tome. Uh-oh. Let's see their hand. And then we know what we're dealing with. Of course, it could just draw a counter spell, which is fine. Whatever. Let me see that hand, which is worth 2 mana in itself, in my opinion. A Bonecrusher Giant and the Dragon. You take the Giant. We're gonna hold up Soul Shatter so we don't target the dragon, and then they don't get the treasure. Because they want to, you know, put it out, attack, get the negate to protect it. That's their playline. Yeah. Yeah, we did. Let's create ourselves into a Bonecrusher Giant. Boom! Hit for 4. We are in full disguise. That's not Valki anymore. That's a Bonecrusher Giant. They have lots of bounce, though. Another dragon. Shoot. We smack this out of the existence. They're going to be like, I'm going to tap it for mana. Then we go through our attack phase, mana disappears, and then we kill the dragon. Oh no, because when we target it, it still will create it. That's actually frustrating. Never mind. We can't target it. We have to event it. It's an odd as well. But, I mean, we're winning this race. We have lethal in 2, they have lethal in 3. Unless they get more hastes, flash. We need a land off the top for 6 mana. They must have something that's sorcery speed. A land off the top, and then we can pull the negate on the act. They want to kill Valki, if anything, if they have the bounce. But that gives us the Planeswalker. which they don't really want to do. It's an interesting position that we're in here. It's a very close match. Shout out to our new sponsor, Grey Viking Games, for the Fluval Flip sleeves. Sleeves. You can find their, or my link to their website in the comments or in my link tree. And then, of course, I get a little bit of a kickback for that. So make sure to reset your cookies and do all your shopping through me. Alright, that giant gives them more damage. And they don't even stomp. And they have 4 mana. So they still counter this. But the negate's gone, is the thing. What do they draw? They probably have Shark Typhoons. More counter magic. Goldspan Dragon OP. Remember that time we didn't play this land? Because I was so sure that we were going to top deck one. I mean, I guess we did, kind of. They have Shark Typhoon here. It's game. Counterspell, they win. If they foretold one, they can't cast it this turn. But we're in such a bad spot. They've got flying with flash and haste. Like, nice. 8 lands. Good game. Let's play one more. All right, you guys. Last match of the deck. Definitely not of the day. We're gonna hit the drawing board and maybe move on to something else. Come back to this in a couple days, because I'm sure you don't want to see back-to-back Jundathons. Hello, good game with the Heart Hadron, and let's start it out nice and slow. We don't have 2 black sources, so we may as well just get this Broad Pit in play. Okay, so they take our tier grid, but we can easily just snag it back. A lot of land in this hand. Okay. That does the do as well. Let's keep Wilt up. Oh, we got 2 cats on the computer. I absolutely love it. This is my expensive cat bed. For Anybody who hasn't seen it. Oh, Simba! He just bites her out of there. Oh, God. Anyways, there's a Fatal Passage trigger. Maybe whenever someone's roping you, it's because they're showing off their cats to people. You know what I mean? Just hold on, Fatal Passage. I gotta showcase my cats. We have more important things to do. Let's take our turn. Oh, that is actually pretty nice. Let's pass. We'll grab it back on their end step. And the Lantern's a 4 converted mana cost as well, so we could take it back end step, just immediately play the Lantern. Alright, they're tapped. Means it's safe to progress. They should have attacked before they cultivated, just saying, but that's fine. That's fine. I need all the help I can get today, really. Be better, Jund. No, I'm sure it's fine. We're going to keep working on it, and I think, you know, there is something there. I don't know how we're going to access it, but we definitely will at some point. Lantern in play should help us, you know, eventually win. Let's do it on end steps. Who cares? Have your draw. They have plenty of life just to, you know, let us eat up. So I doubt we'll get a discard. I doubt we'll get a sacrifice. Alright. They're taking 2 lands into play here. They're really ramping. So they probably are going to play an Ugin, which means we should save one of these for him. Let's just go for it. End our turn. Before we pay to untap it, let's make sure we don't have to kill an Ugin. Because I would like to do that instant speed, I guess. Or should we untap the Lantern and then just kill Ugin sorcery speed? Yeah, that might actually be better. They don't know about any of this removal. They think they're safe. We are going to have to chop down these wolves eventually as well. Woof. Okay. The birds could be worse. This turn's going to be disgusting. This is my luck today. This is what my luck has been today. I'm just accepting it. You know what? Sometimes it happens. Like, I fought so hard the other day. I was like, no, no, no. This deck sucks. We got to make a new deck. You know what? Bad streaks happen. These matchups are going to take place regardless. Oh my gosh. I don't know why it's on our step. It seems awkward. We're going to go with the Lantern anyway, so let's do it now. We are actually on their end step. This is opponent's turn here. And then right back to their turn again. Getting confused because they're not only taking 2 turns, but they took 3 turns, and now they've ultimatumed. We're getting absolutely clowned today.
Through my disguise. Surely you can handle a little pain.
We need an Extinction Event.
Make no mistake, I'm not nice.
Wow. We're just dead. 6 birds. We are just dead. Oh, Lotus Cobra, cool. Just in case, right? All right, good game. Wish I could say the same thing about the deck. All right, so, you know what? I'm not a proud man. I'll show you when it happens. We got clowned around today. Is the deck bad? Of course. Am I a bad player? Of course. And did we have bad luck? Sure. Maybe. I don't know about that one. You're reaching. Shuffler's fine. Algorithm's okay. It's fun to blame stuff like that, right? So I think the deck's cool. We should probably keep working on it, keep tuning it, and trying to, you know, have it win at least, you know, more than one game. You know, it's not always about winning, though. It's about having fun. It's about trying things. And, you know, if you're only ever trying things that work, it becomes an awkward, you know, unsustainable event, right? Things can't always be perfect forever. You gotta have a little bit of a withdrawal, right? And then come back at it. So it's like a breath, right? In and out, expansion, contraction, etc., etc. I'm just saying random shit at this point. Thanks for watching. I'll say more stuff if you guys like. We'll stretch that ad revenue out, right? You guys, what do you guys want to talk about? Right? Let's get into it. I'm just kidding. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the channel to all of your friends. Support financially on Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, our Amazon link, and our Great Vikings affiliate as well. Lots going on. You can find everything in the Linktree link, whether it's our free 500,000 gem giveaway, cash prize monthly tournaments on Melee, 100 one-on-one coaching sessions with myself. It's all in the Linktree link. Get in on it, and we'll see you soon within the next video. Take care. Enjoy.